All right. So, I think we might have found the culprit here. Absolutely. So, if we get a real good look here. So if we look close, we can see where that wire right there was pinched. It was pinched in between this case right here and the back where that seals off, and I believe that was grounding us out, giving us our issue. So the way this system works, you've got a couple of magnets here. These magnets travel around, and you'll see how it'll hit the first pickup leg of the coil, second pickup leg of the coil, and that's giving us our primary charge. And as the magnets go past this side of the coil, that gives us the breakdown in our high energy from our up to our 25,000 volts. Well, if we can't charge the coil because this is grounded out, as you see, that goes to the back side of the coil. That's what kills the engine, is when we ground this out. So now, let's see if, when I take this tester and we're going to ground this out right here, I'll bring this around. Let's see if I can get a video of this. So now we're looking right there at the gap, right in here. And we're going to bring it around to these magnets, and let's see if we see a spark. Working? I believe it is. So, I believe we've figured out exactly what's going on here. I'm going to repair this wire, and we'll put this thing back together, and I'll bet you that we're going to start having some spark now, and then we might have to move on to the carburetor, but we'll see. So I'm able to disconnect this to give myself a little bit more room. And again, we want to be careful of our springs back here, how they go. But I am going to disconnect. We're going to let that hang. So now I'll be able to get in and repair this section of wire. Won't take just a couple of seconds. So again, this is just the easier way to fix this. It could have been that we separated it and went back with heat shrink, but for our purposes, I believe this electrical tape is going to do exactly what we want. Now when we adjust that cable, it's going to give full travel to where this roller is going to come, and that's what's going to be our ground. And if we test this, there should be no connectivity to ground on that switch. And the reason we were getting ground before is because it was pinched right there. So I'll hook this back up to the coil, just like so. As we run it, it's going to be up high in this area where it's meant to go, right up here. So we'll get that cover put back on. Just look at this to make sure that the starter and everything is fine, which it looks good. Everything looks fine there. Now we're going to slide this back in place, holding this lever out. And I'm wondering also about the spark plug wire coming off the coil. I see a ground spot there. I think I'm going to go ahead and put some tape on that also. And there's a retainer spot where that's supposed to go through, and it looks like possibly that's been broken or something. But we'll get that fixed up too. So as we slide this in place, it's no longer rubbing there. We'll set that back. Oh, that's exactly how it fell right there, because you kind of got to hold this just right to get it in place. So we'll do that, and that keeps it up. So that would have been a really easy mistake to have made. I'm going to run that down by hand just to get it held. There was the little 1/4 inch screw in the back here. Nothing crazy, because we're threading into aluminum. Like so. We'll get this little 1/4. All right. So now this guy's going to be a lot happier. Just take your time. It's one of those things that if you rush, you stand the chance of pinching that wire again in another spot and having a failure. So just take your time and go at it easy. Now this is just sheet metal, so you don't want to go crazy with it. We're going to snug those up, get them good and tight. Now we're going to get our springs back where we need them to be. And the governor on this actually works off of the airflow of the fan that, or the air that's produced by the fan blades of the flywheel. About like so. And then we're going to bring this guy, and it clips right over this end.
And remember, don't force anything. These clips will pop right over. You just have to be patient.
Just like that. And there's the action we're looking for. So before I put that cable on, I think I'll go ahead and set this tank and get it in place. So I gotta get this slider down inside, just like so. And that will slide down. Snug that up.
This concludes the second part in this small engine series, so we hope you come back for part 3.